But welcome everyone. This is the day that we get to learn about Wakana's SOS hair care system, featuring our trichologist with over 48 years of experience, Doris Mosley, and our chief medical officer, Dr. Rita McGuire, really connecting the medical field to the health of your hair. And so we're just so pleased to have this new format that really solidifies why people need to be thinking about their hair as part of their entire health regimen. So to get us started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Wakana, the company behind the SOS hair care system. And to get that going, I'm going to share a quick video about what Wakana does and what we do in the marketplace. So give me just a moment.
While so many industries struggled during the pandemic, the CBD industry grew over 30%. Welcome to Wakana. We offer natural and organically grown CBD products backed by our 30-day bottom-of-the-bottle guarantee. Our proprietary blends contain more than 15 essential oils like black seed and turmeric, which help in creating the ultimate entourage effect. We provide a certificate of analysis on all of our CBD-infused products. These tests are conducted by one of the top ISO labs in Florida to ensure quality and potency inside of every batch. We are one of the few companies in the world who conduct full panel testing to confirm our ingestible products are free of pesticides, mold, and other dangerous compounds. The foundation of Wakana is based on 4 pillars, including health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. According to the current CBD market, there is a tremendous opportunity for you to launch your own dispensary with Wakana. You can retail products online, earning from 20 to 50% of the commissionable volume. By launching an online dispensary, you can win the loyalty of your customers by offering the hottest products like edibles, flour, hair care, tinctures, and topicals. Wakana isn't just a company, we are a movement. During the pandemic, we grew over 100% and expanded our headquarters from 1,000 to over 5,500 square feet. We have over 10,000 customers and a 5-star online rating from our satisfied customers and distributors. So what are you waiting for? Start partnering with one of the fastest growing and most reputable CBD companies in the world. Wakana, the crown jewel of CBD.
It just made sense to me. It was more so about teaching people a more natural way to be healthy.
We had the opportunity not only to just get the 40 acres, but also get the mule.
In the waters where the sharks and piranhas swim. Remember, couldn't see the sky, it was kinda dim. I never broke, I ain't got that kind of skin. They never shook, back for the crown again, royalty. If you got the time, we're gonna talk about loyalty.
I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at age 17, and now at age 51, I'm finally getting the relief that I need from my arthritis without all of the side effects.
I have witnessed thousands of people overcome so many challenges, chronic long-term challenges that they've not been able to really overcome with traditional pharmaceutical medication.
I went and played golf this year, and normally when I play for the first time after 18 holes, I'm really sore. I took my Impranium in the morning. I use some of the pain cream, on my knees, and it's like I hadn't played at all.
Well, Wakana isn't just a company, even though you can say it is a company, but we really formed this from the beginning to be a movement. We knew that the cannabis industry really had not catered to those who unfortunately were the victims of the war on drugs, and that was minorities, African Americans. And so in starting Wakana, it was really giving birth to an idea that we as African Americans, we as minorities, we as Black and brown people could absolutely play a big role in this. So we see this as a company, a movement that will absolutely revolutionize and change the cannabis industry and help impact minorities all around the world.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you got a chance to see that, because now you can see that Wakana is more than a company. We are a movement, really with a vision to help end the negative stigma that's caused communities around the world to suffer and to lose out on the health and the wealth benefits of the cannabis plant. In fact, our mission is to be a catalyst to stir that movement that inspires people to confidently move into the legal space as entrepreneurs and formulators and investors, evoking the courage and the strength of people to take back their health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. These are the 4 co-founders that you saw in those videos. These ladies have come together with their shared foundational values to form Wakana as the crown jewel of CBD. In just a moment, you'll get a chance to meet our chief medical officer and health pillar, Rita J. McGuire, a woman with a vast amount of experience. In fact, delivering over 8,000 babies in her 30-year career as an obstetrician gynecologist. She's become a cannabis expert and was even consulted by the Illinois legislature when they were passing laws there on adult use cannabis. Dr. Patricia Van Pelt is our chief financial officer and wealth pillar, building a wealth story, coming from humble beginnings, learning about public service, and now serving as a 3rd-time state senator there in Illinois. Melissa Boston is our visionary and the CEO of Wakana, as well as our legacy pillar. Taking her time, freedom back from corporate America allowed her to build a legacy that her entire family looks up to. In fact, she was able to do that in the home-based business industry and building teams in over 46 countries before beginning Wakana as its visionary. Phyllis Nash is our chief sales officer and the freedom pillar, epitomizing the word freedom and being a lifelong entrepreneur with over 35 years of experience, VIP in every way that she's been, and whether it's traditional or in home-based business, teaching others along the way, leading from the front as our first diamond and first double diamond. In fact, being our midwife of Wakana. Now, to talk to you about our medical advisory board, I want to go ahead and bring up our chief medical officer, as I said, impacting over 8,000 families with those deliveries in both the U.S. and the Caribbean. She's a sought after speaker, as a matter of fact, trainer. In fact, she's a health advocate, owning her own health and wellness company, and she just really keeps us. She's our head of our compliance team, not only our chief medical officer, but just giving so much value to Wakana. We're so blessed to have her here as our chief medical officer. Dr. Rita J. McGuire there in Chicago. Are you out there? Dr. Rita, you might be muted.
And I am muted. Thank you so much, Kathy, for that introduction. I want to welcome all of our business partners, as well as, as well as our guests this afternoon. I am going to share my screen because today and each and every Monday at 2:30, I am joined by these incredible women, my business partners, Doris Mosley, who I'll bring up next, and of course our VP of Finance, Kathy Weathersby. So our second half, we're going to learn about CCCA, which is Centrifugal, Cicatricial, Alopecia. We're going to learn about what that is and its causes. I'm also going to bring up our VP of Wakana's Hair Division, Doris Mosley, our trichologist, and she is going to take us through all of our Wakana Save Our Strand product line and really talk about how our products can assist with CCCA. We'll have a time for Q&As for all of those that have questions out there, and then a call to action, because we want each and every one of you to be a part of our Wakana family and our products. So when we talk about centrifugal, cicatricial alopecia, don't try to say that fast because it's super hard. It took me about a month to say all of those words. And though it's a very hard thing to pronounce, it's very common. CCCA is very common cause of hair loss or alopecia in Black women. In fact, it starts with hair loss primarily in the central part, the crown of the scalp. And that's where we get the word central from. The second word, centrifugal, that is when the hair loss starts to radiate outwards in a circular pattern. It's usually gradual, but in some people, they may experience rapid progression of hair loss. And then the third word is cicatricial. Cicatricial is another word for scarring. Cicatricial causes destruction of the hair follicle. And it all has to do with an inflammatory process that usually starts that causes scarring, which then can lead to permanent hair loss or alopecia. So you see now the word means a lot, right? Central, centrifugal, cicatricial, alopecia. CCCA is one of the most common types of scarring alopecia and is very, very common in Black women. Well, you may be saying now, Dr. Rita, what causes CCCA? Well, the exact cause of CCCA is unknown, but it's suspected to be a result of hot combs, excessive heat. You know, when our stylists put us under that dryer and it seems like it's forever, we're taking our clothes off, right? Because it's so hot. Well, that is causing damage to our hair. Hot oils on the scalp, chemical relaxers, dyes, excessive tension from braids, tight hair rollers, weaves, extension. All of these may be a suspected cause or is a suspected cause of CCCA. Hereditary, family history may also play a role, but absolutely inflammation. Inflammation and scarring around the hair follicles is often found when dermatologists do a scalp biopsy of those who are affected by CCCA. Some of the symptoms that occur in CCCA is itching, burning, tingling, pain, or sometimes there are no symptoms at all. You may sometimes see some bumps due to the inflammation, but again, dermatologists typically identify this condition by examining your scalp. Trichologists like myself and Doris are able to identify this with the scalp scanning and biopsies that are typically done by a medical professional. So cicatricial, the third word, comes from a word that means scarring. And what's very fascinating is that the John Hopkins did a study, and this is a pretty profound study. Now, this study is just a strong association. So don't take this study and run, but there's a strong association with women who have CCCA and uterine fibroids. So this study showed that those women had an increased risk of uterine fibroids when they have CCCA. Now, because of the scarring, there are other conditions that you must think about when we see CCCA. Fibroproliferative disorders like keloids, that's another scarring condition. Scleroderma, we can see a lot of scarring. Lupus, clogged arteries. But what I thought was very fascinating was this strong association that we have with abnormal growth and scarring of the uterus, the womb, and CCCA. So with that, there are some treatments that we recommend. Some common treatments for CCCA is really to identify and treat it early before permanent hair loss develops. Because once that follicle is killed off by scarring and inflammation, there is no turning back. But some common treatments that we do utilize are topical, oral, and injected corticosteroids, oral antibiotics. Other anti-inflammatory agents may help to reduce inflammation and prevent hair loss. And of course, CBD. CBD has been very effective in reducing inflammation and really helping to assist with those who have CCCA. Minoxidil or Rogaine, those are those topical products you can find at Walgreens or CVS. They actually help to stimulate hair growth in unscarred hair follicles, and they also offer an anti-fibrotic action. Gentle hair grooming, so wearing your natural hair, so natural hairstyles, chemical-free, heat-free, reducing the frequency of getting a relaxer, limiting styling products, just preventing inflammation and hair breakage. And then, of course, there is hair transplantation. Now, this may be considered in patients with permanent hair loss and well-controlled scalp inflammation, meaning that if the scalp has gone too far and the scarring is too severe, hair transplantation may not be effective. So let's quickly just look at CBD before I turn it over to our trichologist and our VP of our hair division at Wakana. Well, CBD or cannabidiol absolutely has lots of medicinal benefits, especially those in reducing inflammation. CBD is an anti-inflammatory. CBD is also an antibacterial, and it's a vasorelaxant. So when we talk about the scalp, when we talk about the skin, CBD absolutely can reduce inflammation and really assist in those who have CCCA. Again, CBD or cannabidiol can come from marijuana, it can come from hemp, but today we're going to be talking about our products that are sourced from the hemp species that contain the legal limit of THC, 0.3% or less, and high amounts of CBD that can really address the inflammatory process that's going on in CCCA. So again, Black History Month, I will always bring our icon in the hair industry, Doris F. Mosley. She is our VP of our hair division here at Wakana. She is an accomplished cosmetologist. She's founder and CEO of Los Angeles Spectrum International Beauty Expo. She is an entrepreneur. She's a speaker. She's an industry trailblazer. And without any further ado, I bring up Doris F. Mosley. Can you take it away?
Yes, I absolutely can. I just want to say, I just thank everybody for taking out of their busy schedules to come on. And I would also like to say, in the beginning, when we started this call, we had hairstylists in mind, barbers in mind. But as it turned out, we have other people who are not professional in the beauty industry, and they're on also. So I probably would say some things that you may not quite understand, but as a stylist, you will. So I'm going to ask the non-stylists to take notes. The notes that Dr. Rita just gave us was amazing. And I want you to take notes because I'm coming above the epidermis. I'm going to talk about what's happening on once the hair comes out of the scalp, how our product lines, SOS, and our hemp powered hair is just doing a remarkable job. I'm a product of the product. And just to say that, take it back to your hairstylist and encourage them to come on this call on Monday, because I'm sure I've been in the industry 48 years. I've touched a lot of heads. I've seen a lot of things, and some things I have forgotten. So this is just like renewing, just like our product is. And we have our hemp powered hair here on the screen, and this promotes healthy hair and natural shine, natural way to strengthen and heal damaged hair follicles due to hormonal traction and androgenetic alopecia, reduces breakage and thickens the edges. Now, our hemp powered hair, it is absolutely, like I say again, amazing, because I am a product of the product. And alopecia is simply the medical term for baldness. And there's 3 types of alopecia. There's alopecia areata, which those are patches. You may see circular patches on the head. Then you have alopecia totalis, which is totally no hair on the head, or maybe the eyelashes and eyebrows are affected. And then you have alopecia universalis, which is no hair on the entire body. And you were born with over 5 million follicles over the entire body, but 100,000 or so make it to the head. And that's where we come in at, because hair loss right now is at an all-time epidemic. So I'm going to just look at a couple of these main ingredients here, and I'm going to look at pumpkin seed. Pumpkin seed oil helps get rid of the inflammation that Dr. Rita was just talking about. So that's what, when Wakana put this product together, they researched. They didn't just throw stuff together. They researched every one of these oils, and they said, hey, let's lock them up like a chain, and it's unbreakable. And I'm excited because black seed oil is one of the oils that get rid of the dry, itchy scalp. And when you have a dry, itchy scalp, you're going to start digging in there, and eventually you're going to disturb that follicle and cause folliculitis, which is illness of the follicle. So we don't want you to do that. And the peppermint oil is an oil that stimulates the blood circulation. And since the blood is what actually nourishes the follicle, then you have the peppermint oil, and it not only does it stimulate, it has such a great aroma, it relaxes the client. So hemp powered hair, how do you use that? You put it in the area where you're most challenged. You put your drops in there 3 times a week, at least 5 drops, or if the area is wider, you put more, because when you start with CCCA, as Dr. Rita shared with you, it starts in the center and it starts to spread out. So you may have a wider area. I just had a client in the salon the other day, and I'm going to assume that she does have CCCA, but I referred her to the dermatologist. But she had an area like from the hairline back to the occipital area, and from the parietal ridge all the way to the other side. So it's like, wow. So I advise her to go get tested, get a biopsy. That's the way. And then we have our CBD in our hemp powered hair, bring the body back into balance. So when you drop the drops in the scalp, don't let the nozzle touch your hair or your scalp, because we don't want to contaminate your product. And then you put it in and massage it upward. When you massage upward, what you're doing, you're bringing the blood to that area. Then you're going to drop it under the tongue 3 times a week, and be consistent and be dedicated. See, a lot of us make decisions, we don't stick to them. We got to be dedicated. I was dedicated because I had CCCA diagnosed, and in this area, I was thin, and I said, "Oh God, I cannot lose my hair." So, hemp powered hair came to my rescue. It took me 8 months, but guess what? 8 months later, I had my hair back. I chose to wear it short. I chose to wear this particular look at this time, but it brought my hair back. So Dr. Rita, if you got the SOS system up, oh, our renewing shampoo. Renewing shampoo, we have a lot of different oils in the renewing shampoo also. But I'm just going to share the rosemary leaf oil. It helps reduce, again, the itchy scalp. We got to get rid of the inflammation. And it deep cleans the shaft. Now you're saying, where's the shaft? For the people who are on here that's not stylists, where the shaft? The shaft is a hair that is above the scalp. It's the hair that once it comes out of the epidermis, it has no life as we know it. You can cut it, you can thermal texturize it, formerly known as press and curl. You can do all of that to it, but you got to make sure it stays moist. Hair is made of two things, protein and moisture. And the one thing about our renewing shampoo, it does give you great moisture, and also hydrolyzed wheat protein is there. So we got the two things right there in our renewing shampoo. It cleans that shaft. And you cannot continue to condition over conditioner. You will not have a clean shaft, and that's important. So we go from there, we go right on into our moisturizing conditioner. Wow. The moisturizing conditioner, it has the chamomile in it, hydrolyzed, again, wheat protein. We have all the things that is needed to make it happen. And it's an anti-inflammatory. Our organic hydrolyzed wheat protein. It also helps keep the production of the sebum. Now you're saying, what is sebum? Sebum is the natural oil that each strand has a sebaceous gland attached to it. So that helps in that area. And when you get ready to put your conditioner on, you guys, make sure you towel dry the hair really, really good before you put your conditioner on. Because if you don't, what can end up happening, you're diluting your conditioner, you're not getting full strength of it. And that's important. So you want to make sure that you towel dry good and comb the conditioner through so each strand gets the conditioner, and it's moisturizing. It is also hydrolyzed wheat protein. Remember the two things, but you don't want to over moisturize or over proteinize the hair. It can be just in the opposite. And we go on to our detangler, our leave-in detangler. This is a lifesaver because a lot of people are wearing augmented hair. They're wearing weaves, they're braiding their hair up, and they're wearing wigs. And what happened, when you get ready to comb it out, you end up with a lot of breakage because we shed anywhere, hair grow, let's say that, it grows through three phases. It grows through the anagen phase, the catagen phase, and the telogen phase. When it get in the telogen phase, that's where it starts to shed, and that's the normal thing. It sheds normally, and what you want to do, you want to make sure that you're not excessively shedding, okay? So you need to handle the hair properly when you take them down off of braids, you take it down off of a weave. You want to make sure you comb that hair and you spray the detangler on. You can even spray it on before you shampoo it if you need to do a major comb out. And you comb from the ends towards the scalp. And that's important because if you do not do it that way, you're going to get a lot of breakage. You're going to cause a lot of damage. So our leave-in detangler is amazing. It really is. It has saved me with a lot of weave takedown. Spray it close to the braid and you got it. Styling cream, oh my. This is one of my daughter's favorite creams here, the styling cream. It does not clog your pores. It's a light cream. You only need a little bit. It nourishes and rejuvenates hair and scalp, easily style and shine curly or wavy hair. Provides energizing aroma of essential oils with a pleasant, gender, natural scent. And that's important. Just a little bit. It doesn't matter whether you blow drying or you wet set it, however you're going to style a hair, the styling cream plays a great part. And that's very important. Then we go on to our oud oil. Now, oud oil wasn't originally part of the SOS system, but it intense moisture body oil spray is a royal nutrient and bergamot body spray. infused with all natural oils for men and women. It is fast absorbing and gives your skin an illuminating glow as it restores moisture and treat dry skin and hair. Hair is an appendage of skin, and we needed an oil that was light because we're going to, Dr. Rita, if you can take me back to the screen of the CCCA showing the thermal, showing, yes, take me, yeah, right there. Because these are the three areas in which we as hairstylists definitely deal with. And let's take the hot comb first. Now, the hot comb was founded by let me see, his name was Marcel Gautier, a Frenchman in the 1800s. But Madam C.J. Walker got credit. We all thought she really made the comb, but she didn't. Now in this picture here, you can see there's an electric comb being used, but most of us use the heat directly. She seemed like she can control her heat, but it's important. That's why I said, please put the oud oil with the set, because it's a light oil. And when the oil get on the scalp and the heat get on the scalp, what is happening, it is definitely causing scarring tissue there, because the heat is, and it's right here where it starts in the top, and the heat is being intense there. I prefer the comb opposed to the flat iron, because when the flat iron closes up that hair, there's no air getting in there. So with the comb, when you're going through the hair with the comb, it is definitely allowing air to penetrate through that comb, and it's not as intense as the flat iron. But we got to recognize the fact that oil is dripping, hitting the scalp, and if you have heavy oils, it's clogging the pores. And if the pores are clogged, and if you're not doing scalp facials, guess what? Nothing gets out, which is the toxic. Skin is the largest organ of elimination, and our definitely hemp-powered hair is not getting in. So that's why the renewing shampoo is so important. Then we just look at the color. In color, especially if you're doing permanent color, the aniline derivative colors, you have what's in there, paraphenylene diamine, which is PPD. That is the allergic part of what could cause allergic reaction. And most of us, and be honest with yourself, don't do a PD test, meaning you don't take the time to do that 24-hour test. So you're putting the color on the hair, and when you're using aniline derivative color, those molecules are very tiny, so they're able to get into the cuticle layer of the shaft, into the cortex layer, and when it get in the cortex layer, it shifts the cuticle layer. And remember, we talked about porosity, whether it's good porosity or bad porosity, but you want to have medium porosity and not good or bad. When you have good porosity, your cuticles are just laying wide open, everything in and nothing stays in, everything out. So that's important. So you want to check, you want to try to use color that does not have PPD, paraphenylene diamine. You don't want to get away from that if you could. So it's very important, because that causes the inflammation on the scalp. And if there's inflammation there, there's scar tissue, okay? Then we go into relaxers. Wow, their relaxers have different ingredients to get into the cuticle layer. Most people use sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a controlled amount of lye. That's what it is. It's a controlled amount of lye. And I ask this question in every live audience, do you know the pH of the relaxer that you're using? Most people don't know, but the relaxer pH is anywhere. If you know what the pH means, it's the potential of hydrogen, and it goes from 0 to 14. And from 0 to 7 is your acid side. From 7 to 14 is your alkaline side. That's why 7 is neutral. That's where you find water, okay? So if you have a relaxer, it can be up to 14. You need to know that. You need to stay away from that relaxer. But also, you have to know the percentage of sodium that's in the relaxer. It shouldn't be no more than 2% or less. That moving good hair, that wasn't a good example of what sodium hydroxide will do, because you have pure sodium like he had, it will eat it up. But I want to get to the point that application. Now, if you're not a stylist on here today, then you may not know this, but I want you to start observing. Application of a relaxer should not be placed directly on the scalp, like this young lady in the picture is doing. That is not good, because what relaxer does is pre-softens the hair. If it pre-softens the hair, it'll do the same thing to the skin, and that's where you get the scar tissue. If you constantly put in relaxer directly on the scalp, relaxer should be applied off the scalp. It's going to get to the scalp. Only 8 minutes should take you to apply if you're a stylist on the line. And then your time for smoothing, it will tell you on the manufacturer's container. But if it says smooth for 15 minutes and you finish in 10, you've gotten your desired results, get it off, rinse thoroughly, and use your shampoo. You can really use renewing shampoo to neutralize that hair. But it's so important that you know that, you guys. And if you're not a stylist, just observe your stylist or share with your stylist. Invite them to come on to the Monday calls, because our SOS system is doing exactly that. It's saving our strands. And we want everybody, we want to stomp out alopecia. And it is at an all-time epidemic. And it is no reason now we shouldn't be SOS, saving our strands with what we have to work with here at Wakana. So I'm excited, Dr. Rita, what the system has to offer. The only thing we need to do is get it in the hands. And you see this peppermint oil, it's amazing. You can mix it. You can mix the peppermint oil really with your scalp facial. You can mix it with your conditioner. It's stimulating, and that's what you want to do. You want to stimulate as much as possible. The oil is a multi-purpose, earning the reputation of being one of the most versatile oils in the world, and it also helps with a headache. If you get a headache, just put a few drops on the temple, and it helps in that area also. So I'm excited. Then we have men. We don't want you to think we will ever forget you. We have the beard and scalp oil, and it's designed to help strengthen and thicken beards and hair. Naturally strengthens hair follicles for those with androgenetic alopecia. And you say, what is androgenetic? That's from the genes, because your mother could have hair loss, your father could have, but either one you could have, and if both, it can accelerate it. So you want to make sure you know your history of your family to see what happens. But it doesn't matter whether you're a man, it doesn't matter whether you're a woman, you animal, we got there's a follicle. If there's a follicle, guess what? There's a strand of hair. If it's a healthy follicle, it's going to grow out, and we want to make sure we keep it healthy. Back to you, Kathy.
Wow, thank you, Doris, so much. I would like to entertain some questions now. I'm on Facebook Live as well, so I've got several people on Facebook Live. So if you're on Facebook Live, you can put your questions in the chat for Doris and I. Also, if you are on the Zoom, you can put questions in the chat.
Awesome job, and really great information. Thank you so much, ladies.
So Doris, you mentioned that you had CCCA, and you utilized our incredible products that we have here at Wakana. Tell us how long that took to resolve, and kind of walk us through the point you always make about patience, and that it's not going to restore your hair overnight.
No, I always tell people, first of all, it does not work on the shelf. See, a lot of people buy the product and they'll use it a couple of weeks maybe, then they'll put it on the shelf, they'll slack up, and then they say, well, what happened? Oh, well, girl, it didn't work for me. No, it didn't, because it was on the shelf. So what I did, I was very committed, because first of all, I felt I cannot be a trichologist and don't know how to save my own hair. So I started using it right here. You see how thick my hair is up in here. And I had my daughter to journal But it ended up being, my phone broke, so I lost a lot of pictures. But I was diagnosed with that. It had started this mean, ugly face of spreading out. I was like, oh no, this can't happen. So I dropped my hemp powered hair ingredients in the top of my head. I started, and 3 times a week, and I would put it under the tongue. And I was very devoted. And 2 months, my daughter took another picture, and I was like, okay, because I didn't even want to see it. I was, and then I couldn't stress. Stress is one of the reasons why you lose your hair. So I said, well, I can't stress because that's one of the reasons. So I calmed myself down. I said, well, I don't want to see it anymore. Just take the pictures. And it took 8 months. The first 2 months, that's when I started to see a little something. Then it was like 8 months total when my hair was totally back. And then I've said, you know, when you take all that other stuff out there on the market, when you stop taking it, your hair don't come back. So I said, okay, let me see if this will happen with what we're using. I stopped taking it for 2 months just to see. I didn't tell anybody. I just wanted to see. And it did not come out. So I knew I was in the right, as they say, right church, not to get religion. I knew I was okay. And my hair is still doing great.
Fantastic. Charlotte Smith has a question. What was the product to watch out for in color that you spoke about?
Paraphyllene diamine. It's PPD. You'll see it on the bottle. If it has that, do not try to stay away from it. And there are some color that I will, if you call me, I'll tell you who they are, but who we use if you call me. But I'm not gonna say it over the air because, you know, they need to send a check. But you can definitely stay away from that.
I love to send a check.
Yeah.
They got to pay for your endorsement. I know that's right.
Hello. But you can get it, and because that is what causes people to be allergic. And see, we take a chance as hairstylists by not doing that 24-hour PD test. We take a chance because you need to do that behind the ear or in the pit of the arm. 24 hours, and they have no reaction to it, then they're okay. But we don't, I mean, on the norm, we really don't do that. We just hope it don't happen.
Right, right. We have a question on Facebook Live by Toby Taylor. She said, I just took out a crochet down because the hair that was added into my braids caused my scalp to burn. I now have 2/4 size empty spaces in front of my head on each side.
That sounds like she has alopecia areata, and probably from traction. Could have been from traction. She should really get the hemp powered hair and get on it right away, because what happens with alopecia areata, it keeps spreading and it could connect and it could get bigger. So you want to stop that now.
So Toby Taylor, you want to stop that now. I will provide you with the link so you can order your hemp powered hair today. We also want you to order the SOS system, because what I do is I leave my system with my hairstylist. So it's always there for her to use my products on my hair. So we want to remind all of you, because many of you on the line may not do your own hair at home, but have the system at your stylist's salon so that they can use it each and every time. So thank you, Doris, for that. Thank you, Toby, for that question. T-Mac, CCCA, how can I have a consultation about this? And the best thing for her to do is to visit us at Dudley Beauty College, and we can do a scalp analysis and really get you on the right track. Of course, our empowered hair, as well as our Save Our Strand system. And if things look really worse, we may refer you to one of our dermatologists for a scalp biopsy. But great question, T-Mac. Yes, we are doing consultations in the LA area where Doris is, in Chicago. Just connect with us and we can do virtual consultations as well. Any other questions? Oh, I have a question about applying relaxer. I do know with CCCA, it starts at the crown. Is that where most stylists start their application of relaxers? Do they start at the crown? And if they do, wouldn't that cause that relaxer to be on that crown area longer as you're trying to apply the relaxer to the entire head? How does that work?
Okay, first of all, if you have any suspicion that a person is starting with CCCA, and you can tell because in the top it starts to diffuse, stop all relaxers. Okay, now when you apply relaxer, you're supposed to start in the back sections where the hair is more resistant, because everything happens in the front first. You comb, start in the front, you spray in the front. So the front hair is said to be not as strong as the back hair.
Okay.
Okay, so you start in the back section, and you most of the time we were taught to do 4 sections. Some schools may teach differently, but anyway, sectioning is more controlled. And when you apply the relaxer, Dr. Rita, the relaxer should not be applied on the scalp. And that gives you that time to get to all 4 sections while it is pre-softening the hair. Then you go back and smooth. Now smoothing, you're gonna make contact, but guess what? You're not gonna be on the scalp as long. But I've seen so many people apply that relaxer directly to the scalp. And when they do, it is on the scalp just as long as it is on the hair. And hair is an appendage of skin. So the same thing it's doing to the hair is doing to the skin. So that's the key. Do not apply on the scalp during the application.
Thank you so much, Doris. This has been great. This has been a very, very good conversation about CCCA, centrifugal, cicatricial alopecia, which is very common in African American women. It also has been linked, a strong association with women who may have uterine fibroids and other fibrous conditions like keloids and lupus and scleroderma. So again, this information we want you to share not only with your stylist, but your friends, your family members as well. We're going to right now, if there's no other questions, we're going to bring back Kathy Weathersby, our VP of Finance, to kind of give us some call to action, some things that you can do right now today to get these products and other information into your home.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rita and Doris. I tell you, ladies have really given everyone such a wealth of information. This was really informative. It was enjoyable. Thank you so much for everything that you guys bring to the table. And normally when we share any of our information about our mission and our vision, we're talking to 3 types of people, one of 3 types of people. You're here because you've been looking for quality products, especially to address maybe a concern with your hair, to be able to have organic and great products that are showing results. Well, you've absolutely found that, and I invite you to support the person that invited you today. So get back with the person that told you about today's event and go ahead and get your hemp powered hair and your SOS system ordered along with some of our other great products. Or you might be like person number 2 and says, hey, I own a salon. I am somebody who is pretty well known in my community, and I would love to have this type of party. They would love this unique type of niche party. I want to host a party and maybe win some free product. And then we have person number 3 who says, you know what? I've been looking for a way to be able to take my business to the next level. I'm a stylist, I'm a barber, I'm an esthetician. I want to be able to use these products and showcase them in my business. How can I find out more about that? So Whether you're person number 1, 2, or 3, I invite you to come and join us tonight for our virtual corporate Zoom. You get to learn all about Wakana, the products. There's even live demos, and there will be a business overview. This is going to happen at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. And guess what? If you zoom in half an hour before that, you'll get a chance to really wind down your Monday with some great R&B by our awesome DJ, Dr. Roz. So here is the Zoom ID, and the person that invited you will be able to give you that password. You see, we have to deal with Zoom bombers, so we're not going to publicly put that password out there, but I can assure you that the person that invited you knows the password. We use it all the time, but the Zoom ID is right there, 945 0474 2719. Again, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy the virtual corporate Zoom. Join us, join us, join us. And thank you so much for joining us today and spending part of your Monday with us. Back to you, Dr. Rita.
Thank you, Kathy, so much. I appreciate that. And next week, you want to join us. We're going to be talking about traction alopecia. We're going to talk about what that is, how we can reduce the amount of folks that have traction alopecia, and how our products here at Wakana can assist with that condition as well. So thank you, Doris. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you,
all of our guests, our business partners, our Facebook Live friends. Thank you for joining on Facebook Live. We will see you next Wednesday next Monday at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But please join us this evening for our business overview. Be well, be safe, and God bless you all.
Thank you.